Okay, we're at the show in Clairmont, California, the greatest show on turf, and I'm going to do just a quick video walk around and let you guys see what I'm seeing. So you got a couple of VW things here. Here's a bug done Baja style, and so a couple of Ford shoe boxes. I love them. This one's pretty stock. Curb feelers. Kind of like remember from being in high school. It's a pretty eclectic show. Custom, stock, a lot of imports.
Sounds pretty darn close.
And I think that's a Hudson coming up on this. Let me get ahead of this guy right here. Studebaker, I'm sorry, Studebaker, not a Hudson. And we got a lowrider Cadillac, lowrider Lincoln. This is obviously a lowrider car club here. I'm going to sweep around. See these Miatas. San Diego Miata Club. Nice early Jeep. My friend Mark said to take a look at this Firebird here. I think it's a 400. Nice looking car. Very stock. Next to a Rat Rod. Next to a GTO. And of course, a 427 Chevelle. Ford Deluxe Business Coupe. That's cool. Coming up on a 396 69 Camaro, and then our group of AMCers, Gordon with his Javelin, Terry with his A-Scheme Scrambler, Mark with his 70 Mark Donahue Javelin. I don't know how they let this Ford Effie in here. Then a bunch of Mopars. Gonna grab all these. These are the ones I shot earlier on the stills. This Barracuda, I love this. It looks just like the Madagascar orange Rainbow of Color 68 Mustang I've just done. That's on the Mustang Monthly section of hotrod.com. I'm going to sweep back here. This is a really, really nice numbers matching stock 68 GTX. Early Dodge Ram truck. This is a factory 70 Challenger RT 446 pack. This is the president of the San Diego Mopars Club. This is going to be in my 1970 muscle car book coming out next summer. Got a couple more interesting late model Mopars here. And in this one, this Barracuda, I've seen it a couple of times at shows. It's a 66 original owner car. I'm going to give you a look at the documentation on the car, which owned by Dave Russell. Build sheet, original order. But look under the hood, and it's got the through the fender wells headers. Obviously not OEM, but very, very cool. And then here we've got a numbers matching Hemi 66 GTX Satellite Hemi. Gorgeous car. I just got a couple of shots of this. And then this Barracuda, which is a 67 like I had. Check out the color of the interior. I've never seen one this color. It's kind of like a coppery, almost metallic bronze color. One of my favorite songs in the background. Double shot of my baby's love. Nice looking Tempest here, 326. Love the color of this of this Le Mans.
Come over here.
A 68, I believe, Ford Cobra. Got some stills of that. And then this one, I had one just like this after I got out of college. My students from North Plainfield High School might remember me driving this to class a couple of times my last year teaching in 1980. This is identical to mine, except mine had the floor shifter. This is an automatic on the column. 273, just like mine. And then your ever-present Tri-5 Chevy. Really clean Chevy pickup. And a Chevy Special Sedan. So I'm going to scoot through here. I've seen this Suburban many, many times. Award-winning car. Gorgeous Chevy Apache. I'm not sure it's a quad headlight, so it's either a 58, okay. And we'll get a close-up of the beautiful detailing on this. Is it yours? Gorgeous, gorgeous. It's a girl's car. Cindy D'Ambrosia. Well, Cindy, you got a gorgeous-looking car. Hopefully one of your friends will see it. This one is a 65 Rambler, another car that I've owned. My very first car was a 440H. You want to help narrate my? I just wish it had a small block AMC, and we talked to him early. Yep. Very cool car. Very subtle flares on the rear, if you can pick that up. Of course, we got another girl's car here, an Olds 442 with gold striping. This Chevy 2 station wagon. Mark and I were in front of this and behind us when I rode in the Scrambler. And just going to continue to go down. It's called the Dragon Wagon. It's a 65. A really nice looking car, and you know how much I love station wagons. And we're going to, nice panel here, a Chevy. Haven't seen a whole lot of Mustangs. I'm kind of on the lookout for some cool Mustangs. This is a 289, looks like a 66. Very nice, clean, very lightly modified. What year is it? 56. So very, very nicely done. Jimmy Dinsmore could have been in your book, except for those wheels.
There's a good story behind this.
What's the good story behind it? So quickly, I'm doing this live.
Well, I got this truck in Mexico, in Mexicali, Baja.
Was it built in Mexico?
And they built it there.
Yep.
Hey, Dave, take care. Take care. Nice talking to you.
So many of these F-Series out here on the West
I
Coast.
have a paint job over there. All the accessories I buy in the United States. But
You have a little bit of an accent. Where are you from?
I'm from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
Yes. But
Yeah.
I got 50 years in this country.
It's amazing how many Fords, how many F-Series trucks were built all over the world. South Africa, I believe, Australia,
all over the world.
Mexico.
It's true.
But now they only build them in the United States.
My mom, she's a white girl. And my dad's a Mexican guy.
Uh-huh.
So I got a half and half lot.
Well, gorgeous truck. I love the color. Thank you so much.
Take care.
That's why you come to car shows. You get those great stories. I'm going to look at this Mustang from the rear here. And then a 58 Ranchero, I believe. I don't know how to tell by the side spears, but what I can tell is if it's a dual headlight car. No, it's a single headlight car. So it's a 57. The license plate frame is a good giveaway to that. Going to take a look at this original owner Roadrunner coming up here. Thank you so much. This is a gorgeous car. I saw this car in Escondido a while back. Thought that I'd have no trouble getting this one in a magazine. But the funny thing is it has some non-standard Roadrunners on it, and 2 editors turned it down. So I happen to love it, and it's highly modified, but the original, done by the original owner. So it's pretty easy to tell that Paul Pollens can do whatever he wants with his car. It's really, really nicely done. And of course, he has a Roadrunner fixation. Let's go back through here. We'll look at a couple more of the cars. Another shoebox here. This is kind of interesting. There's lots of door prizes here, and Hearst Equipped is one of the door prizes. And when I saw this earlier, I said to the organizers, would you like the two authors to sign it, which we did. Okay, here we're coming up on this shoebox. I love these early post-war Fords. This one's for sale in case you're interested. Here's the phone number. And we'll come around here, get a picture of the storyboard. Tells a little bit. Now this is something you can cruise anywhere. Air conditioned. What's it running? A 305 Chevy, right? Everybody builds those Chevys because they think the Fords are so expensive to build. They come down a couple of street rods here. Pretty typical for what we see here in Southern California. Very subtle chop of the roof there. Louvered hoods. Very in period 60s look. Another panel truck. What looks to be a Ford. This Chevy here is a 10-year frame-off restoration. Really nicely done. We'll take a look at both the interior on this as well as under the hood. Nicely done. It's a 62 and it's a 409. Nice storyboard. I have to find out who did that. CarShowDepot.com. Another one just like that. Another Tri-5 Chevy. Very clean Chevy truck, a little bit modernized with the wheels. Of course, another Tri-5. This is a 65, I believe, Dodge Coronet convertible, oversized wheels. Looks nice. I love the color of that. And of course, Mustang late model, Cobra. And this, as we walk by this 69 Camaro 327 Rally Sport, very, very nice. Rally wheels just looks perfect. A Ranchero. Another pre-war car. This one a 37 Chevy Business Coupe. And we'll swing around and get our last row, mostly GM cars. Now I remember these third-gen Camaros from when I had my store Cartoons Mobile Electronics. Jeff Lieb had one blue, and I recall we were one of the first to upgrade the radios because these had a very, very unusual radio setup that was almost impossible to update with a, then single-din radio. T-top car, very common. This is an 84, 34,000 miles, total survivor car. I'm going to step back and get a full look at this. The Berlinetta is the luxury version. They were making a Z28 back then, I believe, at that point, but they were pretty low performance. And this is a 2007 Corvette, and now this Chevy pickup. I'll step back. Nicely done with the body color treatment on the grille. 65 or a 66 Mustang, hard to tell. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and back up to get the better light. That's kind of cool. So we should get a better look at the lighting on this. This allows me to look at and identify them. Obviously a couple of rat rods here. Popular here in Southern California. Now this is one of those late model Corvettes done up to look like a 53. These kind of things are a love it or hate it situation. I kind of love it. I'm going to get some information on it. It's a 2003. I do like that generation of Corvette. Those are really wonderful cars. I remember doing my first Route 66 trip in a then new 97 Corvette. Bose set the trip up for me. I flew into Chicago, picked the car up, and drove it from Chicago to LA on Route 66 for a story that appeared in car audio and electronics when I came out here 22 years ago to be editor. Here's something that you're seeing less and less of, and we've been talking about the early two-seat Thunderbirds. It seems that these are cars that the people that wanted them have them, and many of them now in their 70s, in some instances 80s, are selling them, and they just don't seem to be holding value too well. Like the Tri-5 Chevys, my analysis is that they've peaked. Your opinions leave in the comments, but the Tri-5 Chevys and the 55, 56, 57 Thunderbirds, unless they are perfect or supercharged, they are now on the downward side of the value curve, and I think the next category of cars that's going to fall into that will be 60s and into early 70s muscle cars. They've had their run. We see lots of them at the big auctions, especially Mecum and Barrett Jackson, and the values don't seem to be holding. You see a lot of them when they are on the block, get the reserves lifted once they get to a certain point beyond the recommended pre-auction estimate. Again, very few really totally stock cars and trucks. A lot of trucks here, but we're looking at these with a little bit different eye. And again, leave comments on your thoughts on my analysis of the values of 55, 56, and 57 T-Birds and 55, 56, and 57 Chevys. Have they reached their peak, and are they now on the way on the downside? Very interesting, 63 Ford Galaxy tilt nose. So is it me, or is that engine set back a bit? I think that's probably pretty close to stock. Kind of interesting. It's got a different kind of patina. I missed a row here, and there was one Corvette I didn't want to miss. I'm going to do a full walk around on it. I happen to like this. I like the look of it. I like the big spoiler. What year is it? 65? 327? 302. Okay, so that's like a Z28 motor. That's cool. That is very cool, because you don't...
You'd be surprised how many people don't know that.
Yep, I know that. I write about these things. That is cool.
You got a Ford in it?
What's that? No, I write about cars.
No, I'm just saying that people make that remark.
Yeah. Does it have a Ford in it?
They don't realize it's
Yeah. Let's get a close-up of the interior on this. Really, really nice. And I'm going to interview the owners, so don't go too far. I'm live streaming on Facebook, so I'm going to have you tell a little bit about the car. I think this is gorgeous. Tell me your name, and tell me about a minute or two about the car, you guys.
Rod and Jan Crawford, and we've owned the car since 1972.
Second owner?
No, I guess I'm the second owner. But I've done all the painting and everything on the car.
Home garage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I met a guy that did all the body work for me. But
you got flares?
I prepped it and painted it. It's got a front spoiler, back spoiler, all the fenders are flared. These are 1969 inverted vents on the side.
I saw that.
And it's a little 69 Z28 302 motor in it.
And the motor's from a Camaro Z28.
And it puts out 334 horsepower to the rear wheels. So
I think that the small block cars, they have a charm of their own, and they drive so much better than the big block cars.
This came with a 396.
So it was a little nose heavy.
Yeah.
How much weight do you think you took off the front wheels by going to the small block?
Maybe 500 pounds at the most, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's it's easily the coolest Corvette here, and one of the coolest cars at the show today.
Well, we think so.
Yeah, well, I agree with you.
Most of the purists don't like it, though.
Hey, you know what they say?
What?
Go screw it. It's your car. I think it's gorgeous.
I kind of agree with you there as far as whoever wants to do whatever with their vehicle, I think it'll be great because it's what they like to do. So.
I'm going to come back and get some information from you. I write for a lot of magazines. I don't do a lot of Chevy stuff. I did edit a magazine called Chevy Enthusiast. Lasted 1 year.
Yeah.
I would have put this car on the cover. You got it? Okay, I'm the editor who launched it, and at some time in the future, I'm going to do one more issue because I can put it together myself and sell it on Amazon.
Sure. There you
Hey,
go.
listen, we'll be back in a little bit, and I'll get your contact info.
Okay, take care.
Okay, we'll finish up here. I think this car's just really cool. This is a cool display. Various miniatures of the outgoing Corvette, the last front-engined Corvette. Obviously, all the talk this past 2 weeks has been of the mid-engine Corvette. And I had one of these in Europe, a Z06. This is the car I've driven the fastest. Drove one of these on the Autobahn between Karlsruhe and Baden-Baden, that one stretch of the Autobahn where Rough and all the manufacturers do their testing. GPS verified 186 miles an hour. I actually went faster in this than I did in the Ford GT. The best I could do in the Ford GT was 180 miles an hour, and that of course appears in the story that I've done many times for Octane, for Car Auto Electronics, Sports Car International, Supercar in Romania. That story got published so many times around the world. Anyway, this Triumph, I think, is a 47, but we saw this morning walking over for breakfast. And check this out in the back. Little jump seats, kind of like what we were thinking, the Ramble seat on the AMX concept car from 1966. Very, very cool. And then the last car we're going to feature in this video is not a car, it's a van. It's a Ford Econoline van, Falcon Econoline van, I guess you could say. And just really nicely done. And with that, I'm going to finish up, try to stay out of the sun since I got all the cars. I will be saving this. I think the other videos have been saved to my timeline. And what I'll do is I'm going to just walk through, no more commentary, as I walk back to our pop-up in the front row. So thanks for joining my live stream today. I think I'm getting the handle on this. I think the video is oriented correctly. You never know with Facebook. But here we go in the opposite direction and up to the front row again. Take care, everybody, and watch this space tomorrow for something, hopefully, if I have her permission, something really, really special for you. Maybe did I not go down this row? Because I've seen this, I think it's a 61 or a 62 8-lug Catalina bubble top, tri-power. I believe this car is pretty much original. And you've got the corresponding Chevy right next to it. So I'm going to get both of them. And this one is a 61. And just check out the interior. GM just was hitting on all cylinders when they did this series, the 61 and 62s. Actually, the flight out of the winged cars, as I call them. Same basic dashboard, but Chevy style. And this one, again, I believe is a 61. I'll let you know. It's got a big block motor in it. It is a 61. And I'll get a shot of the interior. Just wish all of these litter bugs didn't put their flyers in the cars or put them on the floor in the back seat. Yeah, I missed this row. We'll get this row to finish up with. Let me turn around so we get the proper orientation of the lighting. I'm assuming that the orientation of the widescreen is correct.
Every time I text her, I text Gia, but I know she's busy with her stuff.
Got a 68 SS RS. This is a lot like Kenny Walter's car that we drove on the 2005 Detroit to Chicago Route 66 to LA muscle car trip that was in Motor Trend Classic. Love this color on this Corvette. And followed by, from the same era, an Austin Healey Sprite. And again, come up on a couple more. It's hard to walk backwards with people walking in the same direction. Looks like a Shelby GT 500. It looks like it's probably a tribute, signed by Carroll Shelby. Oh, look what's under the hood. A 5.0 Coyote motor. I'm doing a story on a car very similar to this, although not a Shelby tribute, a 67 Mustang, and it reminds me I have to call that guy up and set up that photo shoot. So I've got a call coming in, so I'm going to answer that, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye. Kevin, I'm seeing you on my screen saying hi. Rolf, can I scroll this? Yes, I can. Brian, Gary, Julie. Thanks everybody for watching, and feel free to share the video. See you later. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.